Hi, my name is Bethany, and welcome to episode 7 of the library. We're going to continue talking about Christmas, and as a Christian, I want to begin to talk about Advent. Advent is the weeks leading up to Christmas Day, and it is kind of readying our hearts because as Christians, we believe that Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Jesus. So I am going to talk to you today about some different books and devotions that you can use either in your personal life or with your family as we ready our hearts for Christmas. This is just supposed to be a way to enrich your faith. All of these books are listed in the Amazon link that's in the description. So if you want to check it out, please feel free to do so. So let's get started. The first one I'm going to talk about is Joy to the World by Charles Spurgeon, who was a preacher and evangelist in the 1800s. And there's this quote on the back of this book that I want to read to you that Charles Spurgeon said. He said, "This is the season of the year when, whether we wish it or not, we are compelled to think of the birth of Christ." And that is certainly true. So if you're looking for just a really rich devotion, it's not very big. Charles Spurgeon, I think, is an incredible option. Going to more modern, from Charles Spurgeon to present, is Louis Giglio's. And if you see, there's a coffee stain, which is kind of my mark, right? But Louis Giglio's is Waiting for You. And he said, I wanted to give you this quote. There's just so many good quotes in these books that I was like, I just can't not share it with you. He said, "The wait is over. The silence was broken. Heavens unleashed thunderous applause. And in a messy manger, Jesus was born." And I love that quote because I can tell you in my own life that in the middle of the mess, Jesus has met me time and time again. And I am so grateful. So this is Waiting for You by Louis Giglio, all white cover. Can be coffee stained, can confirm. These next two devotionals actually are, my brother sent them to me. He's a pastor and he sent me these. They're both by Sinclair Ferguson. This one is The Dawn of Redeeming Grace. It's a daily devotion for Advent. And then this one is Love Came Down at Christmas. These are both Christmas or Advent devotionals. They're just fantastic. There is a quote in here by Sinclair. This quote by Sinclair says that he likes to begin Advent with a 12th century hymn, which is O Come, Emmanuel, because it captures the sense of waiting and longing. And I think as a child, we can agree that Christmas seems to test our patience of waiting and longing. But as Christians, it is the reminder of the waiting and longing as we await for the arrival of Christ. So these are two great options. And the covers are so pretty too. Don't you just love beautiful covers? Mercy Mild is a book by a pastor named Josh Taylor, and I actually went to college with Josh. He has no idea that I've gotten his book, and he has no idea that I'm recommending this, but I bought it, and I have been going through and reading this. It's a 25-day devotional, so you could ideally start it December 1st and end it on Christmas Day, which is fantastic. I have a lot of respect for Josh as he's an incredible pastor. We went to a Bible college and he would speak as a student in our chapel services. And I just remember like just how much he loved the Lord. And this book is very reflective of that. And the setup is just really easy. He just kind of leads you through this devotion and the mercy of God. This is just so great. It really is. So Mercy Mild by Josh Taylor. Okay, G.K. Chesterton, who is a very old author, and he's beloved. C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien were big fans of his. And he said that the thing that he loves the most about stories, I'm going to read this quote so I don't get it wrong. "I had always felt life first as a story, And if there was a story, there's a storyteller. And the one thing about the Bible is that it is a continuation of the greatest story of all time, which is God coming down and rescuing man. So if you're looking for, I've mentioned this book before, but if you're looking for a book to share with your children, the Jesus Storybook Bible is fantastic. I love it. If I were using it for Advent, you could do one of two things. You could just start from the beginning and just read your way through it. Or you could go to the New Testament section where it starts to talk about the life of Jesus and just read that part. I don't think that you can go wrong however way you choose to incorporate this book into your life. It's fantastic. I know I've mentioned this before, but this, can you see this? Like the binding is all destroyed. I've taped over it because we read it so much. My children and I have read it so much as a family, and the story is just beautiful. The illustrations are lovely. It's fantastic. Okay, so lastly is this little book. This little book is called Daily Light. And when I was a kid, my dad gave us this devotion, and I use it with my children. And what I love about this is that it's pretty small. I don't know if you could see, but it's pretty small. And there's a morning option and an evening option for the same day. It's dated. But all of this is scripture. And then at the very bottom, it references all the scripture listed, which I think is amazing, because then you're reading just in the entire devotion is just scripture. That's it. It's just scripture reading. I have used this for years and years. It is my favorite devotion to use with my children, because I think there's great value. I'm not trying to dismiss all these books I've just recommended, because I think they're fantastic. But sometimes you just need to get into the Word, and the Word is enough, right? And so I like this because it does just that. It gets you into the Word every day. And sometimes it gives you direction for where to take your devotion. I hear that a lot, where people are like, I just don't know where to read, where to start. Just start here. Just start with a little bitty devotion, every day. Just little bitty. And then if you want to go back and read the whole chapters, you have that option to do so. So this is great for all year round because it's all dated. But it's also good for if you want to just start. I have the hiccups, I'm sorry. If you want to start with starting in December, or Advent is the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. So if you want to start that, you could do that as well. You really can't go wrong. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these devotions. I think the whole purpose is to prepare our hearts, and with the anticipation and remembrance that that Christ is coming. So this is just a meager stack, but there's so much goodness and richness in this that I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you. So may your hearts be ready for Advent.